welcome to 7th Field at Cranston Stadium for tonight's Rhode Island Interscholastic League Division 2B matchup, featuring the visiting Bulldogs from Westerly and your Cranston East Thunderbolts. Please direct your attention to midfield for tonight's coin toss. Representing Westerly, number 4, Lance Williams. Number 24, Zach Tuck. Number 31, Jimmy Powers. Number 51, Zachary Morin. And number 72, Mitchell McLeod. For Cranston East, number 3, Nash Terry. Number 7, Daquan Foster. Number 26, Peyton Ginalfi. And number 75, Tommy Roach.
Down and then over down. Fair.
Cranston East has won the toss and is elected to defer. Westerly will receive the opening kickoff. At this time, please direct your attention to midfield for the presentation of colors. Tonight's colors are presented by the Cranston East JROTC Color Guard. And now, to honor America, we ask that you please rise if you're able and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Performing the anthem tonight is the Cranston East Thunderbolt Band.
Hello one, hello all, and we are back. It is time, Friday night football here, folks. I am the voice, Greg Morano, alongside producer, owner Shane Belanger. We have Lisa and True behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bringing it to you from Cranston Stadium, folks. The Bulldogs are on the road, taking on Cranston East, looking to continue from the momentum created last week. It's impossible to match that game. That game was absolutely incredible. But what is possible is the Bulldogs using it as a launching pad for the remainder of their season, because, folks, they got to win them all. There's 3 ball games left. This is number 1, and they got to take care of tonight, here and now, because it just gets more difficult as their schedule goes on, is the reality of it all. We'll get into all of that tonight if there's time. First, I bring you the action on the field. Bulldogs set to receive. Cranston will defer it and will take it in the second half. They are taking the field, and we're about to bring it to Cranston, struggling this year. They're in the bottom of the division looking for their first win, and you know those teams can always be extremely dangerous, and they can be even more dangerous after a huge win, knowing that you have Woonsocket and South Kingstown waiting. You got to travel to Woonsocket. They're tops of the division. They've knocked off Barrington, whom you haven't. They've knocked off Portsmouth, whom you've lost to. So they're the class of the division. You have to win that game on the road next week. And then we'll get to the South Kingston game. We'll be bringing you live from South Algeria Field. But to here and now, Cranston Stadium. We are getting off a little bit early tonight. Squib kick to get things started. And for the Bulldogs, Hill will take it. He's got a lane, folks, and some speed. And if there's no flag, I don't see any. He is gone. Fireworks right out of the gates. Holy smokes, folks. That is unbelievable. To start it off, I said continue the momentum. I had no idea. Number 43, Christian DeJour, with the return for the Bulldogs. We went the distance. Bulldogs early in the year were used to feeling that happening to them, and now they just strike immediately. So you tell me, there was a question mark. Is there going to be a chance of a letdown? I just mentioned absolutely not. They continue the fireworks right out of the gate, 6-0, 12 seconds it took. Christian DeJure, the junior, on the return. Great start for the Bulldogs, 6-0, pending the extra point. Offense not necessary yet, and the Bulldogs are already on the board. I don't even think people really realize this game started at 6:30. This game popped off early, and the Bulldogs were ready. I wondered, I was going to say, the early starting time. All those little things, those finicky things in sports sometimes matter. Like there's a strange Saturday game next week at Woonsocket. It's at a weird time for both teams. And that's going to, could that matter? Yeah, it could. Who knows, though? There's no telling. Petrosky for the kick. Extra point is up. And it is good, and that makes the score 7-0 Westerly. So Lightning strikes the Thunderbolts before their defense even gets a chance. We are 10 seconds in, and the Bulldogs will now kick off. First break in this one, folks. That's just a crazy start. Obviously, if you missed it last week, if you don't even know the alignment in Rhode Island, the Bulldogs won a game that, in essence, on the books does nothing for their playoff purposes. But to me, everything it does off the books, and it just showed you right there, is even more important. They knocked off Central, who is part of Division I, the Power 4, you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. They came to Westerly, and Westerly took them out on a 2-point conversion with a score 20-19 and no time left on the clock. One of the most unbelievable games, if not the most, that I've ever had the pleasure of broadcasting. Coach Dunbar, I'll tell you what, that man is brave. I knew he was, and I knew he would make the call he made. He made unbelievable calls all season long, and this team is just starting to gel. And you know, I went back into the archives with a lot of the articles, Providence Journal, Westerly, and I have them with me, and we'll get into them today, maybe next week, whatever the case may be. But he knew that this season was going to take a little while before this team came together and gelled, due to how young they are, and there was some injuries sustained. And the kick. 20-yard line, heading straight up the other side and bottled up. Brought down on the side by number 56 for the Bulldogs, Michael Barton, the sophomore. Sees times on both sides of the ball on the offensive and defensive line. And they will get started on the 33-yard line heading out. That is Cranston East. In comes number 7, the quarterback, DeQuan Foster, to call the play. So first play of the game for the Green. They're already down 7. Didn't have an opportunity to blink, and I'll tell you what, talk about a springboard. No letdown whatsoever, came ready with their boots strapped for a 6:30 start. And they're telling the state something, they really are. The play action, draw right up the middle, trying to do what Tolson did or what Portsmouth did and what Barrington did early on in the season with that little follow the leader for the quarterback right up the chute. It worked great in the first 2 weeks. Westerly has made the adjustments. Every team this year has tried it at least once. Not the first play of the game, but I think that's a sign of early sign of a little bit of desperation if you're going to those routines that early. Start with your own offense and see if that works. That may be the case. They may go with that approach all night long against the Bulldogs to see if they break down and they get sloppy in the middle. But like I said, the coaching staff's made the adjustments necessary. That those plays haven't really killed them. One time with Central it did. Back to pass, down the sideline, up the hash mark, actually gets his hand on it. That's number 33, Eric Fazzaro, on the pass defense for the Bulldogs. Bulldog Jr. sees a lot of playing time, also both sides of the ball, in motion quite often on offense. And it will be 3rd down and 10 for the Thunderbolts at the 33-yard line. Bulldog defense yet to budge. And Foster out of the gun thus far, and out of the gun here, their number 1 ball carrier, Peyton Janoffy. Back to pass, rolling to the near side. He's going to go down the near sideline, and he overthrows his man. Had a guy underneath the cover, but not even close, and they're going to have to punt. 4th and 10 from their own 37. Bulldog defense doesn't budge, not even a yard. 2 pass plays incomplete, and the first play of the game, the quarterback draw, went for no yards, so that's a great start for the Bulldog defense. So I'll tell you what, you start with special teams and you start with defense, and I'm letting down in my voice, and I'm mad at myself here. That is unbelievable as far as how the defense has continued to play. So no letdown at all, special teams and defense. Let's see if the offense is even needed. They're coming after it, and they almost got to it. Didn't get to the kicker, so it's clean. And he's going to take it with a fair catch at the 39-yard line. And that is your quarterback, Lance Williams, the he I referred to. Yes, he is also your punt returner. He is also your cornerback. The utility athlete at quarterback leads his troops. And currently he is 13th in the state with 430 passing yards this season. Bulldogs offense, obviously a run-first offense. And as rushing and passing yards combined, puts him up to number 2 in the state. Out of the gun, tuck behind. 2 near side, 1 far. 39-yard line, first and 10. Takes a snap. Gives it to Tuck, cuts inside the tackle, got space. Bulldozes his way through for a gain of about 6. He comes forward fast and hard. Falls forward, gaining the yard or 2 just about every play, he being Zach Tuck. Averaging 5.1 a carry. 585 yards rushing. Actually, that's an old number. Let me look further than that. Out of the gun, Williams, same formation. Back, 3-step drop, looking to the inside, he's rolling near side. Still looking to throw, and nothing there yet. He's going to throw across his body. He's got his man, and he's all the way down. He's still in bounds, number 3, and he takes it down to the 6-yard line. Luke Nelson with the reception for the Bulldogs. Great blocking by the offensive line. Allowed Williams the time. Rolls to the near side, and I mean good protection. It took a while for Nelson, who did the smart thing, started coming back to his quarterback, rolled with the quarterback, extended his route, and the Bulldogs are first and goal, knocking on the door to make it a 2-possession game already. And we aren't even 3 minutes into this thing. First and goal from the 6. And pretty much this is just a Zach Tuck surge. Is really all they need here. You'll get your 5 or 6 every time he touches the ball. They really haven't closed up the defense much, Cranston East here in this formation. Tuck gets it and cuts to the backside, and in the end zone he goes. That would have been a 6 to 7 yard surge. Easy in, touchdown Bulldogs. Already on the board with 13 points. This Bulldog team comes out firing on all cylinders. Defense with a 3-and-out, kick return with a touchdown, offense down the field, touchdown. Bang, bang, bang. Looking to make it 14-0 here. And we still have 9:14 to go in quarter number 1. Petrowski for the extra point. Snap's good. The hold, the kick is up. Coming left a little bit, and we will see it's good. 14-0 the score. 9:14 to go in the first quarter of play, folks. Cranston Stadium, if you're just tuning in, and I'm going to say that a few times, it's an early start. We started at 6:30, and holy cow, folks, if you're tuning in at 6:45 or 7, you're not going to believe it because it's already 14-0. We are live from Cranston Stadium. Cranston East hosting our Bulldogs, who come off the unbelievable victory over with Power 4 Central, who came into Westerly, playing their music loud, all the confidence in the world. The Bulldogs trailed in the game by 6, turned it completely around, went 21-20, and have just used that as such a springboard here tonight, and really needed to get a little bit of in my estimation, get a little bit of a cushion and then start working on some things you need to work in next week when you play Woonsocket. We'll get into it. They're undefeated. They're the top of the heap at the moment. You have to knock them down or you're not going to make the playoffs. It's black and white. It's not. As far as I've read and I've been told and I've asked a lot of people and I've looked in a lot of places, the Bulldogs got to win these 3 games. And the kick, a low squib, gets to the back line. They let it go and he still mishandles it. Covers it up though, and that's going to be number 4. Antonello Lucetti, a running back for the Thunderbolts. So the Bulldogs, their route doesn't get easy. I mean, it went from Central, and they clearly used that as a confidence builder because this is a confident Bulldog team. And they're even more confident now than they were when they walked in the door. But they drew first blood the first time they touched the ball on the kick return. 43 Christian, the junior for the Bulldogs. And now the Bolts back on offense. Number 7 at quarterback, Daquan Foster, trips to the right side. Hands it off up the middle, nothing there. big play taken down by number 46 for the Bulldogs. Jacob Nieves, the sophomore.
Stopped by number 46, Jacob Neves.
And there's about a yard loss on the play, which puts Cranston East at about a yard loss on the day. Williams having a good year, despite having early in the season, the Bulldogs had to work in new linemen. They were going to need a couple of new linemen to begin with, and then the loss of Matthew Garafola, a two-way starting lineman for the season. That pass is complete right at the hash marks for a gain of about 8. It'll bring up a third down and a long 3 maybe, 2 depending on the spot. Nice play by the Thunderbolts, their first positive play. A quick two-step hit by the quarterback. But the loss on the offensive line really made them scramble a little bit and get a unit that hadn't played together in camp together. And it took what it took, but now they are. And they couldn't be doing it at a better time, at a more appropriate time, than to start gelling now. So, Cranston East set to start 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line. So they did get a first down with the spot. And they started out pretty spread. Here they go 2 wide to the far side, 1 near. 2 backs in the backfield. Takes a snap, hands it off up the shooting it to the right side, and he's cutting his way up the hash, and he's got room, and that's a gain of about 12. A nice play by Cranston East. That's number 3 on the carry, Nabi Sherry, wide receiver and quarterback, but obviously they moved him from wide receiver into the backfield, and he made some nice moves, started on the right side, inside the tackle, and then just weaved his way really up that line. Second first down this drive for the Thunderbolts. 1st and 10, they're in Bulldog territory at the 49-yard line. Same formation, same backfield. Back to pass, 2-step, looks up the deep sideline. He's got a man, he turns back and he just doesn't make the completion, can't make the connection. Number 6 was there on defense for the Bulldogs. Correction, number 5, Hill for the Bulldogs. The receiver had to turn around off his back shoulder. And I think if they kept him moving, threw it up over, I think he did have a little space, a little disconnection from Hill. But a bonus for the Bulldogs. It was a little underthrown, incomplete. And that brings up a 2nd down and 10. So they found a couple openings in the passing game. They didn't really make connections. They just underneath about 12 yards underneath in the cover 2. They found some space right up to shoot there. Not finding any luck. Number 14 for the Bulldogs, Griffin Aldrich, puts a stop immediately. Jimmy Powers in on the play, and that's going to drop them back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 10 to go for the Thunderbolts. So the Bulldogs looking to put a stop to this drive, which already has 2 first downs. This production brought to you in part by McQuaid's Ace Hardware, your local family-owned hardware store located on Franklin Street in Westerly, RI, your fall cleanup headquarters. The Thunderbolts take the line here, 3rd and 10, first big play for their offense. They really need to stop the bleeding at the moment, rolling to the near side. Looking up the sideline again, he puts it more of a line. That was the 2nd time he's used that spot. Good D, number 33, Fazaro, comes in late and puts his hand in on it. Intended receiver was number 3 for the Thunderbolts, Nabi Sherry. He was in the backfield earlier this drive. This going to bring up 4th down and 10 from the 49, and they bring in the punt squad, it looks like. Back to punt, number 53 for Cranston East, Tim Calixto. So the Bulldog offense will get another opportunity. This is a chance for the Thunderbolts to at least change field position. Bulldogs set up what would appear to be a punt rush, but they're nearby, but don't go fully at it, and a nice roll they're going to get from that one. And it keeps going, and about to the 15-yard line it'll settle, and that's where the Bulldogs will get started. 1st and 10 from their own 15-yard line. So if nothing less, Cranston East does a nice job of pinning the Bulldogs back a little bit, but now they got to play a little defense here. Kickoff team couldn't defend the kick return, and thus far the defense didn't stop the Bulldogs on their first drive. So the offense takes the field. 14-0 Westerly, folks. If you're just tuning in, if you're tuning in at 7 o'clock, it's only 6:45 right now. Who knows what the score will be? Who knows how much you will have missed? Near side, Fazaro out wide, along with Nelson with the big reception. for the touchdown earlier on in the game here. Their last possession, I should say. And right up the middle, Tuck doesn't get too much. Gain of about a yard on the play, bottled up in the middle by the Cranston defense. Number 69 made the stop on the play, DeAndre Brown. So the Bulldogs remain at the 9-yard line, backs against the wall. This production brought to you in part by Tim Killam for Westerly School Committee, Lori Wycall for Westerly School Committee, Kevin J. Lothar II for Westerly Town Council, and Caswell Cook for Rhode Island State Senate District 38. Bulldogs break, 2nd down and 10 from their own 9, 14-0. We have 5:30 to go here in the first quarter of play from Cranston Stadium. Bulldog looking for their 3rd win in a row. And motion, pitch, inside, he cuts up inside the 50, down, he's going to the outside, taken down. Nice gain on the play by number 3, who's having a nice start for Luke Nelson for the Bulldogs here. And he works his way through the middle of the field, tries to get to the outside before he's stopped. There's a flag down, it's going to be a hold against the Bulldogs. And that's going to pin him even deeper. So you're going to erase that positive gain, that's going to go back to about the 5-yard line, 4.5-yard line. About as far as they can bring them back half the distance. So the 7-yard line they get the ball from, and they will go from there, and it'll be 2nd down and about 12 yards to go for the Bulldogs. Backs against the wall here, first time tonight. Clock ticking under 5, first quarter. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bringing you Bulldog High School football, folks. Friday night lights, folks. Friday night football, carrying on from last week's extravaganza. Bulldogs start on fire tonight. The offensive line's going to have to get to it right now, though, and get them out of their own end zone. Motion, Fazaro. Takes a snap, looking to the far side, rolling. Steps and throws, and overthrows his man. That one was intended for Gorman. Everyone rolling that way. That was the flow of the play. Just a little high out of his reach, and that is going to bring up 3rd down and 12 from their own 7-yard line. And now you're just trying to give yourself some room so you can punt out of your own end zone, and you're not in your own end zone at least. Clearly, you're looking for a 1st down. I mean,
3rd and 18 for Westerly.
3rd down and 18, the official number. It started from the 12. Out of the gun, Williams, tucked behind. Trips to the far side. And that's where they're going to go the play, steps back, rolls that way. Good blocking, rolls outside, still got blocking, no one there, tucked, and he goes. He's got past the first side, he's near the marker. I think he was a little short. Let's see what the mark is. But now you have the decision. You're up 14-0. You got you close enough to think about going for it if you're Coach Dunbar, because he's always thinking about going for it. And that's a nice scramble by Williams, man, to get him to where he is. A yard short. It's going to be 4th and 1 from 3rd and 18, a 17-yard scramble. I mean, the flow of the play and the roll went along with Williams' strength towards the far sideline, towards his right. And they are going to, I believe they're going to go for it. Up 14, why not? All the way in for a 16-yard gain. They needed 18. 17-yard gain. Big play here for the Bulldogs. 4th down and 1. They're up by 14, but you're giving it to Cranston if you don't get it at the 24-yard line. I'll tell you what, that's kudos to the Bulldogs. That is confidence in your defense, and if that doesn't fire you up if you're a Thunderbolt, then I don't know that nothing should. Bulldogs out of the eye, tuck deep. Under center, Williams calling out the play. Hand off to Tuck, up the middle, and he bulldozes his way through, and he's got enough, folks. You can see the spot, 1st and 10. The Bulldogs convert, so they get out of their own end zone. It was 3rd and 18 from their own 7. They maneuver their fresh set of downs. It'll be 1st and 10 from around the 28-yard line. They're out of their own end zone, and their fresh start here. 14-0 Westerly, and their offense continues to move. Out of the gun again. Rextis near side, wide receiver. Motion, handoff, tuck, far side. Against the motion, he's got room. Taken down from behind after a gain of about 8 yards. Nice blocking on play side. That's McLeod and Adams. He split on that one, who he often does. Works off the back of the two of those players. Nice blocking downfield. Take it down, as I said, from behind. My number 8, I do believe. That would be Isaiah Romaine, running back outside linebacker for the Thunderbolts. Bulldogs, second down in about a yard. They're at the 37-yard line, 36-yard line. Out of the gun. Gorman in the slot. Motion coming near side. Turnaround counter handoff up the middle. Tuck's got it. And he bulldozes his way forward for about 8. More than enough for a fresh set of downs from the 44-yard line. Bulldogs are on a roll here, and they are moving. Everything clicking, special teams, offense, defense. The train is a-rolling on Friday night. It is beautiful out. Under the lights, there's nothing better to be doing than watching football, folks, if you can't be playing. Bulldogs are a solid unit now, right now. They are playing like they finished the game last week, like the entire game, like the second half of the game. Near side, 2 for the Bulldogs, hand up to shoot, tuck, bam, big hit. Drives his way forward. It's going to be a tough spot, but a gain of about 7 nevertheless. But he'll let you know if you're in front of him, he is not just going to curl up and roll down. Wakes up the outside linebacker, does a nice job of hanging on. A good collision. I'll tell you what, these boys, that's why these boys are sore for a few days after these games. They're like car wrecks, and that was a big one right there. Bulldogs are moving. Second down and about 2 or 3 for the Bulldogs. Just over the 50-yard line. In comes Fazaro. Rextis and Nelson on the far side, tucked in the backfield. Fazaro's coming all the way to the near side. Gorman at tight end to the left. Out of the gun. Second and a long 2. He's going to take 2 steps, 3 steps back. You look at nothing there. He's rolling to his right. Nothing there still. Bulldogs still doing a good job. He's going to have to cut back. Now he's in trouble. And he's going to reverse the field. And the Bulldogs are still there blocking. There's a block in the back. There's a flag. Hold on to the ball. And it's going to bring you back a few yards. I think the Bulldog lineup is aware. It did turn into a first down. But let's see what that flag was. I do believe I saw what that flag was. And they're going to wave it off. All right, I saw nothing. And that's a big play for the Bulldogs that they will get. I believe they'll get the first down. Yep, they will. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. So right now, nothing's stopping the train. He threw it right behind an offensive lineman, so I assumed there had to have been a fault in the block. There wasn't. And the Bulldogs continue to move. This production brought to you in part by the Wireless Zone, your Verizon authorized retailer located in Dunn's Corners next to Dunkin'. Cell phone sales, service, and repair. Get up to $1,000 off iPhone 14 with trade-in when you pre-order. So as I said, Coach Dunbar said a lot about this team's going to take some time. He tried to tell people after the Barrington game, after the Portsmouth game, he even had the patience to know it's coming, it's going to happen. And he couldn't wait any longer, and it happened when it did. Stumbling to his right, he had a little bit of room. He could have kicked outside right from there, outside of Gorman. Lost his footing, gained about a yard on the play. Lost about a yard on the play. His knee must have hit the ground. And there's going to be a end of the first quarter. Bulldogs 14. They draw blood twice quick, but they're moving. It is second down and about 11 from the Thunderbolt 46-yard line. When we return, we're going to take a quick break, folks.
My name is Kevin J. Lothar II. I'm a candidate for Westerly Town Council. But I was also an Army engineer officer for 13 years. And I solved problems in some of the most difficult places in the world, including the border with North Korea, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Egypt. And I want to take that experience that I had working with governments all around the world and bring it back here to Westerly. I've had a lifetime of service, but I want to continue that service here in this town. So please, come and support me on November 8th. My name is Kevin J. Lothar II. Together we can do big things.
Welcome back, folks, and the Bulldogs are taking the field. We are starting the second quarter. I am the voice, Greg Morano, alongside producer, owner Shane Melanger. We have Lisa Ann True behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, and the Bulldogs are getting right to it. Starting the second quarter here, 14-0, folks. We started early, 6:30. We started at 6:55. If you're thinking kickoffs in 5 minutes, the Bulldog train kept on rolling from last week, struck immediately on the opening kick. And Hill takes it in the backfield, breaks one tackle, and he's moving up the hash. And he's still on his feet and finally wrapped up and brought down right at the first down marker, gain of about 9.5, if not 10. Nice job of reading the hole in the patience at the beginning of that play. And Hill worked his way to the first down marker, and this Cranston East defense is reeling. But if you missed the start of this one, folks, Bulldogs return the opening kick for a score. Number 43, Christian DeJure, the junior, went the distance, put the Bulldogs on the board immediately. They then forced the Thunderbolts 3 and out, and their offense took the field. And right now we're going to go live on the field, out of the gun. We got Twins to the near side. Hands it to Hill in the backfield. He's going to come to the right side again. Breaking tackles. He's got speed. Using his stiff arm. He's brought down at about reaching to about the 29-yard line. It's going to be marked right around the 30. And the Bulldogs' second score came through the air. Luke Nelson, the recipient. So the Bulldogs have struck on offense and on special teams. Bulldogs offense continuing to move here. First down and 10. They are moving left to right in the white. Hill's been in the backfield a couple plays. Okay, Tuck's back. They were just giving him a little break. I haven't paying attention to their sidelines. If I've been a little quiet, that is why. Seeing him off the field is not a normal thing, so I just wanted to make sure he would be back, and he's back, and all is well on the Bulldog front. And to Tuck we go immediately, and he's wrapped up immediately. Number 69, DeAndre Brown, having a good game for the Thunderbolts on the defensive line. Breaks through immediately off the block of Adams on the offensive line. And that is that's right where the Bulldogs depend on their defensive line. So nice job there by Brown of the Thunderbolts. Bulldogs will back up due to the flag on the field. They'll take the holding and they'll repeat the down way back at the 40. So the nose of the ball back at the 40-yard line, and it's going to be first down and 20 for the Bulldogs. Holding on the play. Williams in. So the Bulldogs schedule after tonight, they head to Woonsocket. Finicky time on a Saturday early afternoon next week, and they got to be ready. They got to continue. They got to play a full game here tonight. There's no letting down for the rest of the year. They have not allowed themselves the opportunity to do that. Rolls, play action to the far side. Crosses body, throws, and he overthrows his man. And that is going to bring up a second down and 20. Intended receiver, number 1, Peter Rexness, the senior for the Bulldogs. So through the air, they've really had one play, and they struck on it for the score. And other than that, it hasn't been all that sharp. They've had a couple guys, and they've overthrown, and they've had pretty good coverage on the Thunderbolts as far as defensively. Still looking to see if the Bulldogs install any big differences or big changes this week, give anything a shot going into Woonsocket. I'm sure they'll have plenty of wrinkles if necessary versus them. But really, they just go to their game plan and they have faith in what they do. And look at it, proved true last week. And it's proven true here tonight. Pass complete. Number 3, Nelson on the reception on the simple out route. And it's a gain of about 15 yards. They're going to give him 12, tough spot. He went out of bounds. So it's going to bring up a third down and 8, which is much more reasonable for the Bulldogs. Nice job by Nelson on the reception and the run after a catch. Coach Dunbar giving Williams the play. They haven't involved Gorman yet as far as through the air, really, or any which way on offense. And Williams set. Offensive line takes their marks. Third down and 9. Bulldogs have gone for 1 4th down, and they converted, 4th down and 1. And they're in a position on the field where they'll clearly go for it again because they were on their own 23-yard line when they did it last time. So now the wheel motion, And that pass is low and in, and that is going to be incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th and 8. What do the Bulldogs do? Nothing's guaranteed. They are at about the 38-yard line. I do believe that this is 4-down territory for Coach Dunbar, and it is. He's giving his quarterback, Lance Williams, the play. And in workmanlike fashion, the Bulldogs will go for 4th down. Big play here. I guess in this one, it's been a little while since they got on the board. 8:52 to go, second quarter of action. And it is now 7 o'clock on the dot. If you're just tuning in, the Bulldogs have already gotten started, folks, and taken 2 bites out of the pie, 14-0. They're on the move, 4th and 8. You're tuning into a big play here, folks. Westerly.live, Westerly.radio brings to you from Cranston Stadium here Friday night. Beautiful out, must win for the Bulldogs. And you're going to hear that a lot if they continue to win. Everything's a must win. Tuck in the backfield. 2 wide receivers near side. Looks far side, comes back to the near side. Under pressure. And he rolls somehow. He escapes, and he tries to know he's down. And then he's going to go down about 4 yards back. Number 81 of the Thunderbolts, Alessandro Duffy Matos. And the Thunderbolts stop the Bulldogs and will take over on downs. That's the first time their defense has stopped the Bulldogs. And they will start off at about the 32-yard line, I believe. So the Bulldogs offense fails to convert the 4th and 8. And the Thunderbolts will take the field. Let's see if their offense can ride their wave of momentum, if there is any. Bulldogs defense has stood pretty firm here tonight. Two wide receivers nearby looking to the far side. And he high intended for number 3, Nabi Sherry. They're trying to get in his hands wherever they can. He's an athlete. He's been difficult to take down the 2 times he has had the ball. However, they're not converting all that many passes as well. Neither team passing all that efficiently, I must say. Trying, just really not making the connections. The Bulldogs did make one important one to Nelson, obviously, for 7 for the Bulldogs, and they need to continue to stretch the field by dropping back. And they're getting good protection from the offensive line, except that last play, that 4th and 8. Quick throw, far side. They got a man with a little bit of room, and he gets around first man, and down he goes. Number 33, Eric Fazzaro, steps up, and it's a gain of about 3 or 4 on the play. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 6 for the Thunderbolts. They're down 14, but I don't think they're in 4-down territory. 8.5 to go in the first half of play. Folks, we're Westerly.live, and we'll be bringing you, we got all sorts of sports next week. And like I said, it'll be capped off on Saturday afternoon in Woonsocket, which it could mean nothing. The Bulldogs don't finish today. But it could mean everything. It could be a must. And a little flare pass out to number 2, and the Bulldogs are everywhere. Defense needs to actually bring him to the ground, and finally they all do. And first man on the scene, number 2 for the Bulldogs, Michael Poole. But they gathered and they flocked, and it's 4th down and 8 now, and the punt team will come in for the Thunderbolts, so the Bulldogs hold again defensively. 14-0 the score, 4th and 8 for the Thunderbolts. Tough run, too many Bulldogs. Number 53 set to punt, Timothy Calixto for the Thunderbolts. And they set back in a punt return, set the block, give him room, he's got it. He's at the 40, he's moving, that's Williams going to try to reverse his field, and he goes straight up, breaking a few tackles all the way up to the midfield at the 50-yard line. See, sneaky. It's sneaky like that, just a few little spins, and the first guy that had him, he stuck with him, but he didn't go down for another 4 or 5 yards. And now they have the ball right near midfield, and looking like they need to make a couple adjustments off last drive as they get set to huddle and start 1st and 10 at about the 49-yard line. The 7:40 mark in the second quarter of play. This production brought to you in part by the Knickerbocker Music Center Live. Watch local bands live from the Nick in downtown Westerly, RIA premium streaming service brought to you by the Knickerbocker Music Center and Westerly Live. Bulldogs take the line, 1st and 10, 49, 14-0. Cranston Stadium, Cranston East Thunderbolts, our opponent. Season on the line, because it is. Motion for Gorman. First time I've said his name. He's been around on D. That's not meaning any of that. Hand off to tuck up the middle. He's played well defensively, holding his edge and forcing the plays inside, and that's his job. His job really essentially When he is uncontained, he's not often actually in that role. But regardless, their job is to filter the play back in. So they may not get the credit for the tackle, but they funnel the play to an area where they can't get any yardage is really the theory. And so he may be having a good game without my name calling him. So the Bulldogs set at second down and about 8 yards to go. Just over midfield. Tuck in the backfield out of shotgun, 2 wide receivers near side, 1 far. Clap, snap, stretch, and he takes it right between his man, and that goes between Adams and the All-Stater McLeod. Strong side of the offensive line, and a big gain for the Bulldogs moves the chains. A nice little lane, and with his speed and power, he doesn't need a lot of space. That big muscle moves fast and gets skinny quickly. And I'm actually quoting someone I spoke with today that knows the game very well, and that was the adjective he used, and it's a great one to use. So I'm not definitely plagiarizing it, but it's actually very accurate. He gets very skinny, and when he squares up, you're going to know. Fazaro, far side, wide receiver. Near side, Rextus and Nelson. Nelson moves. Counter handoff. Near side, the hole's there, and he's going to tug him for a gain of about 6 on the play. Good first down yardage for the Bulldogs. He averaged about 5.1 or so. I just realized those numbers actually weren't adding up to last week's game. So his average might be up. That's why I kind of just trashed those numbers. But so they're probably higher than I have here, which are good as it is. Williams coming in with the play here. Second down and 5 for the Bulldogs, who are marching in the second quarter. Two wide receivers far side, Fazaro near side, Gorman in motion, slides back. Goes the other way with it, and no one's there. Miscommunication. Tuck came right, he pitched it left without even looking, and he is scrambling his way. Boy, are they fortunate that he was the first to see it, because I saw it from here. And I'm quite a ways away, folks. Tuck went right, he went left, and didn't even look to the pitch, which I'm not blaming him. He may not supposed to be, I don't know. But he sure had a miscommunication, and he's the first one back on it. And then he managed his way back to salvage it to only lose 9 yards. That could have been bad. That could have been scooped up by one of the quicker players, by Cranston, by anyone on that squad. So the Bulldogs fortunate to be in a 3rd and 19 situation here. You don't often say that, but they are. Near side, Fazaro and Nelson. Far side, Rextus. Hill in the backfield. Under pressure, flushed out, still in the middle of the field, coming to the near side. Still plenty of time, throws downfield because of the time over. Oh, he's got his man! Just behind the coverage, Eric Fazaro, and the Bulldogs strike again. Touchdown, Westerly. And that starts with the offensive line. It starts with Lance Williams because he evaded the first pressure. He was under pressure. He fought his way in the middle of the field, maintained as long as he could. Great job by the offensive line, allowing him to roll and wait because the coverage was there. But eventually, if you continue as a wide receiver and you continue as an offensive line, someone's going to break. And he dropped it. Williams dropped it into the perfect spot on the hip of Fazaro. Great catch, great route by Fazaro, and the Bulldogs draw blood again through the air. And I think if you're the Bulldogs, this is exactly what you wanted to show Woonsocket that you can do. Because then they can't come at you with 9 in the box, 8 in the box to start the game next week. Because if they do, now you know what can happen. They've hit Fazaro, number 33, and they've hit Nelson, number 3, and they have other weapons. They have Gorman clearly, they have Rex. They got a plethora of weapons. And what they wanted to do was come out of this game and have some tape that shows they not only have the best running back in the state and one of the best all-purpose yardage quarterbacks in the state, they have a quarterback in a passing game that can stretch. That's a big word, stretch a defense. which forces you back. It forces you back with a couple safeties, changes everything, truly changes everything. What a job by the coaching staff to keep this team improving throughout the season. You expected them to come out here tonight, folks. I'm not gonna lie or anything. You expected them to come out, and what an adjustment, as you see on the replay, with the throws a little bit behind, but it was to the outside, which is a spot that only Fazaro could get to. He dropped it in, which put it out of danger of an interception and for the score. So then coming into this game, let it be known, the Bulldogs were expected to win. This Cranston team has not won. And if you just beat Central, a team in the Power Four, clearly coming in, numbers-wise, you're supposed to win versus this team. This is high school football, folks. There could have been a letdown. They showed you right out the gates on the first kick, there was no letdown. And they are continuing, they're working different things. They're continuing to work passing. At the beginning of this game, there were a lot of incompletions. The passing percentages were low. They have struck gold on 2 big plays. They've also found open receivers in different areas. Even if the passes are incomplete, if you're throwing them to certain areas, you're exposing areas on defenses that you're forcing Woonsocket to take an account for next week, which again allows tuck space. So every completion you make gives Zach Tuck that much more cushion, gives Lance Williams that much more room to breathe, in my estimation. So here we go. The Thunderbolts are going to get started at their own 40-yard line, trailing 21-0. I didn't even speak. I rambled through that entire extra point. From about the 43-yard line, 4:11 to go in the second quarter of play. With the play, Daquan Foster. So now you're going to expect the Thunderbolts to attempt to go through the air a little bit. They do have, obviously, Peyton Janoffy in the backfield. And prior to the season, I have the article right next to me in the Providence Journal. He's the key player to watch. And a little pump fake and draw up to shoot. Finally taken down by Adams and Morin after a gain of about 4 or 5 on the play. And they're going to go no huddle as they rush back to the line. Bulldogs seem to be ready. 4-man defensive front. And it's going to be a handoff up to shoot to Gaddafi, and the Bulldogs holds firm. 2 Bulldogs there. Andre Adams, last man to get up out of the pile. Jimmy Powers in it. And here we go again. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 yards for the Thunderbolts. 2 wide receivers near side, 2 far side. Straight drop, 3, quick throw. He's got his man. Quick turn up the field, and he spins his way to a nice little gain and a 1st down for Cranston East just over midfield. And that's just enough. That's a good route. That's where you needed to go. And now down by 21 at your home field with no wins on the season. If I'm the coach of the Thunderbolts, I'm going for every 4th down. I'm going for everything now. I mean, why not? What do you have to lose? I'll let them go back and sling it a little bit. Keep your best athletes involved. If you're not having any success running with Janoffy, throw him in a couple routes, do whatever you got to do. But this Bulldog offense, I don't think they're done at all. They've done all their damage here, special teams and through the air, which is exactly what you'd love to see them do tonight. The 2 things that they needed to really have come together to become a true playoff team and a playoff contender. Not only just sneak in, you want to blow in and be a contender while you're there. Those are the 2 areas that really need to be mended. And the defense has stepped up in the second half against Shea, obviously. And then in the second half last week, nice little jet sweep to the near side for about a 5-yard gain for the Thunderbolts. And then continuing here. And there's definitely a flag that's going to go down there. Number 31, a little bit of a skirmish. It's going to be a personal foul. I believe it's going to go against, I said it last, I was wrong. I think this is going against the Bulldogs. They always catch a second guy, and they're going to get 31, Jimmy Powers, for this one. And from bird's eye view, it looks like an appropriate flag. And if it's only a flag, they're probably kind of fortunate. They don't really mess around when you're pushing and shoving too much, but we'll see. This will give the Thunderbolts a 1st down and 15 extra yards. Bulldogs don't need to be doing that. They don't need to be getting sloppy. You know that Coach Dunbar is going to have something to say about that. They need to be on the edge of that, though, folks. They got to be on the edge. Their intensity, even regardless of the score of this game throughout this entire second half, there's no putting the backups and lighting up anymore. There's not in this season. And that's a tough break for the Thunderbolts because the Bulldogs have to go full throttle, foot on the gas this entire game because they have Woonsocket next week. And they can't let up. So that's the bottom line. And you can't give yardage. You can't have negative plays. You can't have turnovers. Quick drop, no one there. He's going to get a second pump underneath. He finds a little cover two, tries to drop it in the zone underneath the safety and corner. If the zone was there, the spot was there, the throw was short. Number 4, the intended receiver, Antonelli Lucetti. And would have been good enough for about a first down around the 10-yard marker. So Cranston East will now huddle up again. They have transferred back from the no huddle. They're at the 30-yard line, looking for their first score in Bulldog territory here. 2:51 to go in the first half of play. Quick hand off. No, he's going to follow his man. A little bit of room. Gain of about 4 or 5. Fazaro first on the scene. And then not far from the play. Number 46 for the Bulldogs, Jacob Neves. This production brought to you in part by Tim Killam for Westerly School Committee, Lori Wyckoff for Westerly School Committee, and the Thunderbolts back out of the no huddle. Quick throw. And that's going to be a little wide inside, way inside of where he wanted, into a danger zone. Receiver on a quick little hook. He ran up with the Bulldogs. Nice job defending it. Had coverage right behind him and all around him, essentially. This production brought to you in part also by Kevin J. Lothar II for Westerly Town Council and Caswell Cook for Rhode Island State Senate District 38. And the Thunderbolts go back to the huddle here. They're kind of whimsically meandering in and out of the no huddle. So the Bulldog 21-0, looking good. They're looking good. I mean, that's what they have to look tonight. You got to keep perspective on your opponent. Yet you have to look good, and what I'm seeing is a blueprint of what you really wanted to see. And to his right, he's going to tuck and go. There was no one there. Nice job on the coverage, but the end breaks down a little bit, and he's able to get around it and rush for about 10. That's going to be good for another first down for the Thunderbolts. And number 7, Foster, Thunderbolts leaning on. Pretty much he is their offense at the moment. First time in the red zone for Cranston East tonight. Out of the gun is Foster. Contained is a huge issue for any team. It's been early in the season for the Bulldogs, and they've improved. They've done different things and had different people, and this is going to be up in the end zone over the top. Nice defense by the Bulldogs, and that's going to be none other than number 4, Lance Williams. Tried to get it over the top, and that's a perfect throw. Really by Foster. Maybe he could have put another inch or two on it. Not much more room. Oh, look at the outstretched hand of Williams in the slow-mo replay. Only Westerly.live, Westerly.radio can bring to you folks, and we'll bring you for the rest of the year because every one of those plays are playoff-seeking plays now for the Bulldogs, folks. There's no more joking around. There's no more nothing. Everything is do or die for the rest of the year. This here now is this game is for what they've done. They wanted to show we can stretch a field. And they're going to throw that out route again, and it's there with the reception up underneath. Gorman is going to take him down after about a 4-yard gain. Once he gets his hands on you, he is not going to let go. He has got great length and great strength. And the combination of the two, if he gets his grips, you're going to go down. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 7 for the Thunderbolts. They're at about the 16-yard line, the furthest they've ventured to the money land thus far here tonight. We are live from Cranston Stadium, only a minute and a half away from halftime here. Early 6:30 start, 21-0 Bulldogs. And rolling near side. Under pressure from behind. Down he goes, Andre Adams on the sack from behind. And he is fired up, and that is what the doctor ordered, to fire this defense up. They needed a big play, and that was it. Brings them all the way back to the 27-yard line. Big play by Andre Adams, a two-way lineman for the Bulldogs. Number 52, only a sophomore, going to be a beast. Plays guard on the offensive side of the ball, generally next to McLeod, and they are a force together. He moves a lot, pulling. 2 wide receivers both sides out of the gun. Barking orders, takes a snap. Foster looking under pressure again, and eludes the first man. He throws on the line, and that one is picked off It's Fazaro having a day with the interception. He's got blockers and he's got patience. Great job weighing it all the way down, all the way back to the 29-yard line. So their first trip into the red zone turns horrible for the Thunderbolts as the Bulldog defense steps up with a sack and then an interception on the rushed throw by the defensive line. Eric Fazaro with the interception for the Bulldogs, and they hold on to their shutout, and the offense more than likely, I don't know, but may kneel down. There's only 22 ticks left here in the first half. They do have a kicker they can work. They do have timeouts, so you never know. They could be working things here. The playoffs mean everything, so every play is something you're going to work on for later on in the season. Nothing is meant to be, it's not a matter of respecting other teams, disrespecting other teams. It's a matter of you're playing for your lives, and you have to get better every week. Every play you're going to strive to get better. And now they're using a lot of time on this one, so this play must have thwarted their opportunity. Williams with a nice scramble, and he may even get out of bounds. He's still on his feet. Man, they're not knocking him out, and he really changed the side of the field. They have 8 seconds left. He's out of bounds. He got all the way to the 44-yard line. I can't believe he made it down the sidelines that far. I'm talking away, and he's still in bounds. I'm not sure what the Thunderbolt players around him were doing, but skinny did he get and quick down the sidelines. Now there's 8 seconds. You got time for a quick pass and a timeout, and maybe you can get into his range. You're going to be looking at 6 or 7 seconds, folks, to run a play that's going to get Petroska into a comfortable spot. Comfortable. It's going to get him to a spot maybe where it's a 35-yarder, and that's a boot. He can do it in pregame. Off the turf helps. And it's always different before in that half. They can boot when there's no offense with no lineman coming out. It changes things. But they're really going to need to get where they're placing it at about the, 25-yard line. So they're going to need 7 out of that 8 seconds. 6 at least. Out of the gun. Receivers getting where they need to go. Quick throw. They got their man. He's going to have to get tackled. Call timeout. Down he goes, and the timeout with 0.6 seconds to go. I said he needed to get to the 25. He got to the 25 and a half. Can Petroska do it? Because the receiver knew where he needed to go. The coach knew where he needed to go. They got to really close to where he needed to be, and they're going to line it up and give it a shot. I've watched him a lot in pregames. I've watched him a lot at the half, and apparently I got a good look at it because that's right where they wanted him, and that's right where you're looking at about a. They're going to place it down. It's tough. It's going to be tough, folks. You're looking at a 42-yarder. Yeah, it's 17 to the line of scrimmage is the magic math. 10 for the end zone and about 7 for the snap. They're going to go with about 5 on the snap. So add about 15 yards to the line of scrimmage, which is at the 27. Looking at about a 42-yard kick. You always try to get the defense to jump. They're going to call a timeout here, get things together. You never know. There's a fake in your pocket. They're not far from the end zone. It's not like it's a Hail Mary. So the Bulldogs can pull anything out of their pockets here at the timeout. Last play of the half, folks. And there's been a lot of excitement, a lot of experimentation. The Bulldogs are going to come out of the timeout real quick and take the field. So this is going to come right back to action. So things have looked pretty good for the Bulldogs here in the first half. They've done what was expected in an unexpected fashion. It's come in a fashion in the ways that they've needed it to. But not in the ways perhaps that we would have expected. Tuck necessarily running down their throats. Big plays in the run game. Here's a big kick off his foot. Let's see. And that's not going to quite do it, but they're going to go into the half with a 21-0 lead. Bulldogs show they can do it in a few different ways. Special teams, through the air, defense holding a shutout from Cranston Stadium, Westerly.live. We're going to take a break, folks. We'll be back in about 12.
Thunderbolt Sports Media is well known for Cranston East athletics. Schedules, results, original game reports, and information about our new career pathway in sports media and management are available online at tvsportsmedia.com. And be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at TV Sports Media. That's at TV Sports Media. now, to begin your halftime entertainment, please welcome the Westerly High School cheerleaders.
Hi, I'm Lori Wykall, and I'm running for Westerly School Committee. Our education needs to get back to basics. Students should be focusing on reading, writing, arithmetic, and science during the school day. We need safe and secure buildings, which means a student resource officer in every school, and disciplinary policies that hold students accountable. For years, I've been that parent, asking questions, looking for answers, and voicing my opinion. I'm still that parent, and I'll be there for you. Open, empathetic, and communicative. On November 8th, vote Lori Wykall for Westerly School Committee.
I am Timothy Killam. I'm running for Westerly School Committee, and I ask for your vote on November 8th. Career and technical training programming is very important to me. Many students enter the workforce directly out of high school, like I did myself, and I now run a very successful business. We put a lot of focus on students going off to a four-year college or off into the armed forces, but we don't tend to highlight the students that do enter the workforce right after high school. Our career and technical training program has continued to grow, and we are adding a third construction class this year, but we need to do more. We have a neighboring school system that has one of the top-notch CTE programs in the state, and I think Westerly can be there or even above it if we continue to put efforts into the CTE program. Now's the time. Let's grow that program, and let's help every student succeed.
My name is Kevin J. Lothar II. I'm a candidate for Westerly Town Council. But I was also an Army engineer officer for 13 years, and I solved problems in some of the most difficult places in the world, including the border with North Korea, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Egypt. I want to take that experience that I had working with governments all around the world and bring it back here to Westerly. I've had a lifetime of service, but I want to continue that service here in this town. So please, come and support me on November 8th. My name is Kevin J. Lothar II. Together we can do big things.
Hey, my name's Caswell Cook, and I'm running for State Senate here in District 38, which is Westerly, Charlestown, and a part of South Kingstown. I've been elected 8 times to the Westerly Town Council, and over my 20 years of public service to the town of Westerly, I've paved roads, I've balanced budgets, and I've gotten a lot of things accomplished. I've got a track record. I'm asking you to support me on November 8th for State Senate. It's an important election. Dennis Algier is retiring after 30 years, and I would like to take his place in Providence to fight for you here in District 38. November 8th, please vote for Caswell Cook.
My first impression of Jessie was that she was really shy. They introduced us, and then I kind of just started asking her questions about herself. The more we talked that day, the more we figured out that we had more stuff in common.
Jana, the most important thing in my life. We listen to a lot of music. Well, we like to sing, like karaoke. Me and her like to sing like an upper pitch level, like soprano. We sing good.
It's like she just kept saying, I love karaoke. I love karaoke. I have a tablet. Do you want to sing karaoke? Like, what's your favorite song? Aerosmith. I don't want to miss a thing.
We were like rocking on.
Jessie is a sunflower. She blooms everywhere she goes. I'm pretty much like a gardener. That's how I look at myself here at the Frank-Oline Center and in the world.
The Oline Center was started by a group of families that got together in a local library, and they said, we need resources for our family members who have disabilities. There's nothing available. When somebody's not getting services, that means that usually, especially in the children's area, that their disability can become more profound. There's a ripple effect. If we don't provide sufficient opportunities and supports, it does have an effect on the rest of the community. We exist because we want everybody in our community to live lives of purpose and live the life that they want to live. And we do whatever we can to make that happen. I really do see it as an organization of joy and purpose.
My mom and dad brought me here when I graduated from school, 1999. I think I was 15. I love being here. It's the most important thing in my life because I'm learning more skills at the center, like safety skills, baking. I do a lot of crafts because I'm a good artist. And I got a job when Peter Gorman got me the info working at Bella Vita. That's why I met Maria. She's the most favorite boss and I love the whole world. Being here, being around with people that cares about me a lot.
I really enjoy what I do, and it makes me emotional because like it's important to see them make a difference in their lives. It's all them, and I'm just here for support.
I wish I could have everybody be a fly on the wall and just experience the camaraderie, the sense of belonging, the sense of respect. The Oline Center is a story of empowerment. It's a story of caring. It's a story of inclusion.
It's more than just a job or a career. It's changed me in a way where it's given me hope to know that like there's good out there.
I wish I could help people really see the difference that they make in people's lives when they support an organization like the Oline Center. It's just fundamental, the changes that they can help to make. These are our friends, our neighbors, our siblings, and they have as many and as diverse needs as you and I do. And we're just here to try and help fulfill those with the support of the community.
Do you think the Oline Center has changed your life?
Changed my life, yeah. Being the next chapter in my life makes me feel good. I want to be here for the rest of my life.
To support the work of the Oline Center and learn more, please visit our website, olinecenter.org.
the Cranston High School East Thunderbolt Band and the Emerald Dance Line.
We are back, folks, just moments away from the second half of action here in Cranston Stadium, the site of tonight's game. Bulldogs versus the Cranston East Thunderbolts. Folks, coming into the game, Bulldogs, if you're looking from the outside in, are supposed to win the game. This is high school, so nothing's ever for certain. Coming off of such an unbelievable performance versus Central, it could go both ways. It's high school sports, folks. You can either have a letdown or you can continue the train rolling, and that's exactly what the Bulldogs did. Struck first blood on the opening kick. Number 43, Cranston DeJure, the junior, took it the distance for the Bulldogs, something they haven't really done all season, but they've been victim to. So that area, it was great to see to start the game right where they left off in Central. From there, they've drawn their next two touchdowns have come through the air. Another thing they want to add to their repertoire, so when their opponents are watching film on them, they can show that, yes, we can stretch the defense. And they've done that. The second throw was a little bit behind. There were two Thunderbolts there, but it was to the right where they couldn't get the outside, and he dropped it in, and the Bulldogs turned it to 7 points for the Bulldogs. So here we are in the second half. Thunderbolts are going to touch it first on the return. They're going to be bottled up. Nice job by the kick team here tonight. They haven't given up any substantial returns against the Thunderbolts. But like I said, the Bulldogs are expected to win this game. I think 21-0 is the score at the half. That's about reasonable to people's expectations. And I'm not going to say that they don't expect 21 more out of them, because they kind of do. They probably do. The only thing that matters is that the Bulldogs win every game they play for the rest of the year. All you can do is win today, and that's what they're doing. But I do expect you to see the Bulldogs stay with their foot on the pedal from here out for the rest of the year. And if you're looking at it from a coach's standpoint, I think you couldn't look any better on film the way they have scored their points. Right up to shoot, first play of the game, number 6 on the carry, Adrian Foreman. Hasn't gotten the ball much this game for the Thunderbolts, but a decent 4 or 5 yard gain on first down. They're out to about the 26-yard line. So it's 21-0. I am the voice, Greg Morano, alongside producer, owner Shane Belanger. We have Lisa Ann True behind the lens. We're Wesley.live, Wesley.radio, folks, and we're bringing you fireworks here on a Friday night. This is a Friday night. It's a must-win Friday night. It's expected to win Friday night. Because after tonight, folks, do I expect the Bulldogs to win? I expect them, yeah, they're capable of winning, absolutely. But they're tough games. They got to go to Woonsocket, who's the head of the bunch. And there's trouble on the snap. It hit the ground. I don't know who hit first with it, but I think the Bulldogs may have ended up with it. And they do. The turnover underneath number 46, I believe. Jacob Davis having a day for the Bulldogs. Only a sophomore linebacker ends up with it. And the Bulldogs get a quick turnover, exactly what you didn't want. So the Thunderbolts have effectively started both halves extremely poorly. First one, they give up a kick for a touchdown, and the second one, the second play from scrimmage, they turn over with a fumble. Trouble with the snap. That's not good from that perspective. It's great if you're a Bulldog. You're going to start here at the 23-yard line, heading in, looking to add to the 21. Bulldogs, I think, be working different things, be working on things, that areas that need to be worked on. Because, like I said, next week, the head of the bunch right now is Woonsocket. They've beat those teams you haven't, Portsmouth, Barrington, and you've put yourself in a position you got to win that game. On the road at 1 o'clock on a Saturday. We're bringing it to you. Stretch handoff inside of the tackle, and he could go to the corner of the distance. He's there. Tucked right from the start. You saw that alley. He took that corner, and he's got that speed. Even if a couple players did come along on that run, they would have met. One would have met his stiff arm. The next would have met his shoulder. He had that touchdown from the time he split the first level on the line of scrimmage. Great blocking by the Bulldog line on that play, obviously. So the Bulldogs draw first blood in the second half just about as quickly as they did in the first, 27-0. And exactly what I said, like I said, they're in the 40s you're expecting them to be, and they're headed that way. They really are, and they're headed that way maybe, like I said, in a way that everybody wouldn't have expected. But if you really break down this game prior to it, it's in a way the Bulldogs really wanted to. They wanted to show these teams, these upcoming teams, that they could stretch the D, bottom line. Because every yard that they get throwing over 5 or 6 yard passes, that just creates more room for Tuck to run. Because it gives more respect. And Williams deserves it because he's that multi-tool athlete you have playing quarterback, essentially. He's on the run. He does great on the run. The offensive line has done a great job. They haven't broken down very many times tonight. They've provided him time to roll out. I don't know that they'll get quite as much time as they've gotten tonight in the next 2 weeks. I mean, coming into the season, folks, South Kingston, I have it right next to me. They were a question mark. It was surprising how well they did last year, and it's very surprising how well they're doing this year. So they were a question mark coming into the season, and they only have one loss. They have a tough one coming up. I think they play Hendricken or LaSalle or somebody. But that's their play. That's their game against the Power 4. It's just before the Bulldogs, and it's irrelevant. What it can do maybe is beat them up a little bit. Different things can happen. I'm not talking injury-wise whatsoever. I'm just talking sore from a long football game. And then having to play the Bulldogs on the road the next week. We had number 2 for the Thunderbolts, breaks to the outside, and he's got the edge. I don't think he's going to outrun number 43 for the Bulldogs. DeJure forces him out, but big gain for the Thunderbolts, who are still striking here as they start the second half on the Bulldogs side of the field. On a clean play, he stepped out of bounds, though, a lot sooner, as it's going to be marked out on their own side of the field at about the 47. So Bulldogs all the way up to 9th in the entire state. And that's crazy. In the entire state, counting those Power 4 teams, they're in 9th. So if you do it just by the math that way, how finicky it is, that would put them 5 teams deep into the Division 2. And obviously in the middle of the playoffs, if that were the case, but they're not. They're ranked 9th in the state, but in the division, they're so far down that they have to win every game. Quick pass right over the middle. Nice job by the linebackers getting their hands up. Jimmy Powers this time puts the ball, just enough of it to get it over the intended receiver's head, and that's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. Bulldogs have done a nice job against the pass here tonight. Different players getting their heads in, getting their hands in there. Hill did a nice job on a deep one in the end zone. That was Williams in the first half. Great play, outstretched. Again, this was started a little early, folks. 6:30. It was already 14-0, 21-0 if you tuned in at 7. Next week, again, a different start. Saturday at 1. We're going to bring it to you. Mark it on your calendars. Right up to shoot. Tough run still. Trying. And, man, did he fight hard for those 9 yards. There is no quitting this squad. Last man up for the Bulldogs, Michael Poole from the bottom of the pile. 3rd down and about 2 yards to go for the Thunderbolts. 4 down territory anywhere, really, but especially here. Bulldogs on the season. Right now they have 20. They've tacked on 28 and given up 0. So on the season coming in, they've had 132 points. They've given up 107. Above 500, exactly 600 is that percentage. And you're going to attack on 28, so that's 160. And you've given up 107. So I put it makes the number a little bit nicer. Sweetens the pot a little bit if you look at them. Number 4, jet sweep to the short side. Nice job of stretching it out. And of contain on the far side. Beautiful job by the Bulldogs. Several of them over there, including Mitch McLeod. Last one to come up, so that's a great job by the defensive lineman that you expect that out of, because that's what he does. And that's going to bring up 4th down. Maybe 3rd down, correction, and a couple. No, 4th down, I'm correct. 4th down and a couple for the Thunderbolts, who are going. Bulldogs set. Under center, 3 backs in the backfield. I watched this formation before. They're just going to follow all 3, and he does, and he's going to get enough. Just enough of a surge. Before the game, when they were running that, they would pretty much send 2 guys through, and he would follow the train. No need. They would get the 1st down the old-fashioned way. He buries his head, as in Foster, tough athlete, having a good game, doing the best with what he can. I mean, the Bulldogs have been tough as a defensive front and linebacker core. 1st and 10 for the Thunderbolts. Just under 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter of action. One back in the backfield out of the gun. Quick swing to the far side, completes it. Williams forces it all the way across the field, and he's still chasing him, working his way back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's where he's taken down by Powers and a couple other Bulldogs. Number 2 for the Bulldogs, Michael Poole in the area as well. So it'll be 2nd down and about 10 for the Cranston East. This production brought to you in part by Tim Killam for Westerly School Committee, Lori Wycall for Westerly School Committee, Kevin J. Lothar II for Westerly Town Council, and Caswell Cook for Rhode Island State Senate District 38. Foster leading the crew to the line. Drops back 2 steps, throws deep down the far side, and the Bulldogs are going to get in the middle and pick it off. And they go down the far sideline with it. And he is still on his feet, cut versus the field. And he has the nice forearm, and he's down at about the 27-yard line. Great interception, great return, and what a great night for number 33, Eric Fazaro. I saw him jump in that route, and boy, did he ever, and show his great field vision. Looks like he might have gotten poked in the ribs here or landed awkwardly on his back, so now he's good. Give him rest. We need him. He's sort of an unsung hero on this Bulldog offense. Very, very involved, and a very key cog, a key component to the whole thing. In motion a lot and involved, just around the ball a lot. Number 33, Eric Fazaro, a junior who was the receiving end of that long touchdown pass, the 2nd of the day for Williams on the far side of the opposite side of the field. And it was a nice adjustment on the fly to make that catch. Again, with the interception, has a few tackles on defense and a few rushing yards on offense. Like I said, all around having an excellent night. Only a junior. Hill in the backfield. Motion, number 14 for the Bulldogs. Griffin Aldrich, and it's going to be an option to the far side. And he's going to keep it. Cranston doing a decent job of following their rules. There was a man on each man. That's what you got to do. But they still maneuver with all the fakes and the wibbly-wobbly that he did in the middle there. Williams maneuvered 5 yards out of it. And he does a lot of that shake and bake with his shoulder. Just a little twitch here when he's rolling out is enough maybe to throw off a safety or to throw off incoming linebacker that buys him more feet, more time to roll. And he's really good at that stuff. I mean, almost every pass play he drops back on, he has that first hitch to evade that first person to get back in the pocket. So it's natural for him anyway. Out of the gun again, Hill behind. Giving Tuck a little rest with the 28-0 lead. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Changing the cadence up, and he's going to give it to Hill, far side, to the edge. He's going to try to go, and they do a good job, but he's on his feet. 2-yard gain on the play as he's ridden out of bounds. And that'll bring up 3rd and about 4 for the Bulldogs at about the 24-yard line. They're going to go for it on 4th unless they have a really reasonable area to kick just to work on the possibility of kicking. But they would have to get further in. I mean, the reality of it, if you want a good shot, you got to be at around the 22-yard line, I would say. That's a 37-yard, 20-yard line even, 35-yard kick. And that's a good kick for a high school player, a real good kick. Well, Bulldogs thinking touchdown clearly. I'm thinking work on things for later in the year, obviously. 3rd down and 4. Right up the middle, Hill. And he's got a little room, and skinny as he is, he gets slippery. And he's going to get right near the first down marker. 5.5 minute mark in the 3rd quarter of the play. Number 56, Michael Barton, doing a nice job on the offensive line at the guard position for the Bulldogs. Next to Morin, who's doing a great job tonight. The key at the center position. And when Barton can spell with Adams, he's side Brian Allen on the left side at the moment. You have Allens and McLeod, your strong side. Hill in the backfield. 2 wide receivers alongside McLeod, motion coming our way. And it's going to be that playoff counter. It's going to be the play action counter. And Hill still got it up the middle along the hash. And he gets his way forward for about 5 yards. And that'll be enough to move the chains for the Bulldogs here. And another first down. Number 76, Rico Spizzato. Full-time portion of the offensive line as well for the Bulldogs. And they're all coming together at the right time. At the necessary time, it was going to take time. I don't have patience. As a fan, who has patience? But the reality is this team needed time. It needed time to play together. And they had a lot of time together in camp. It's not a lot of time in reality, but together they got, and then the injury bug hit them. So even so, this season starting to come together. Every week is a new battle for him, though. And the handoff up to shoot to Tuck, and he is going to get bottled up right in the middle. Let me tell you, they're going to see a different opponent next week. But what they've done is make that Woonsocket squad, the Villanovans, I believe they are, it's going to make them at least realize that the Bulldogs are going to try to throw it down the field, can throw it down the field, and if you don't account for it, then they're going to score by throwing it down the field, bottom line. So the Bulldogs have opened things up just a little bit more for Zach Tuck, in my estimation. And coming out of this game, win first. If there's any other thing you wanted to do, was that. Show that you can stretch a little bit going into this Woonsocket game. And have they delivered? Yes, they have. In that. And special teams, that's another bonus. That's a nugget of positivity added on. We haven't had many kick returns this year, and we got one. Defensively, we have a few interceptions, so it's nice to see another one. Fazaro really coming together as a ball player, as a junior. Fake pitch coming back the other way. It's an option draw, and he finds his way up the middle. And Williams, the Warrior, all the way through. And again, with that violent fake pitch he throws, turns his body and tucks on the counter draw. Keeps it up the middle. Great field position. In and out of defenders all the way into the end zone. Bang! Bulldogs got 34. Extra point pending. William puts one in on his feet. So the Bulldogs doing it all sorts of fashions. Now they've done 2 through the air, 1 on the ground, and 1 via kick return. They got a fumble recovery. They got an interception. So as far as the variety basket goes, they've done a lot of different things, and they should have done, I guess, but they're doing it in a lot of different ways. They're really spreading it, and it's nice to see because it's all going to be needed. They're going to need to come together and play this way every other game. Timeout on the field as the official approaches the Cranston side and explains something here. We are at the 3-minute mark in the third quarter of play. I am the voice, Greg Morano, alongside producer, owner Shane Belanger. We have Lisa and True behind the lens. We're Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bringing you varsity football on a Friday night. Next week, it's on a Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Before that, folks, on the 18th, we have some girls varsity soccer. They are having a heck of a season. South Jerry Field, 6:30 p.m. The 19th, we got some girls varsity volleyball. They're having a great year as well. Federico Gymnasium, 6:30 p.m. And then Saturday, 1 p.m. at Woonsocket. That's the schedule next week, folks. And I think now we are set for the extra point. Looking for the point number 35. A little early, they get it, and they'll decline it. I don't know why they blew the whistle. At least give them a chance first. So they're going to blow it dead and make him accept it. If he's in danger of hitting the kicker or a holder, they have to blow it dead. So I guess it's better to play it safe. But extra point will be reset, and it'll be at about the 1.5-yard mark. So the Bulldogs now playing like the preseason reports were saying they would. Like I said, they had to hem themselves up a little bit. They lost a two-way starter for the year, and they have four or five players on the injury list tonight alone. So they've had to deal with it all year. And like I said, they're coming together in different manners the way they need to be a quality opponent, a quality playoff opponent. And state rankings, they're playing like it. Their state ranks 9. South Kingston's just ahead of 8. But I look up above, and the rest of them are all, Central 6, you just beat them. Portsmouth, they're up above, but the rest of your Woonsocket is below. That's why these rankings really make no sense. But if you look at in 2B, Woonsocket's up top. They're 4-1 overall, 3-0 in the league. Bulldogs are down at 1-2 in the league. They want to square up at 2-2. Barrington's 2-2. Portsmouth's 2-1. South Kingston's 3-1. Like I said, South Kingston's got a tough one next week. They're on the schedule with Hendricken. I have Woonsocket's schedule up here. So Woonsocket is playing Portsmouth tonight or tomorrow at 1. Woonsocket versus Portsmouth. That's a big match. That's a big football game. Then they play Westerly. Then they go Barrington, so they got a tough ride. Then Cumberland. So Woonsocket's got a tough road to hoe themselves. So we'll see how they all pan out. Because if you're talking Westerly's got to win out, that means you're saying 3 losses are too much. So they have 4 games that they're going to have to play to get victories in. Now we go to South Kingstown, and they have remaining Shea this weekend, 1 p.m. tomorrow, LaSalle, which doesn't mean anything, then Westerly, and then that's it. That wraps things up. So they also have a tough road to hoe. Wesley kick picked up around the 20, and big number 69 rumbling his way forward down the sidelines, stays on his feet, actually didn't even come close to falling down, and that is DeAndre Brown, who's had a nice day on the defensive line for the Thunderbolts. They're going to get started 1st and 10 at the 40, trailing 35-0 here, 2:50 in the third. This production brought to you in part by the Wireless Zone, your Verizon authorized retailer located in Dunn's Corners next to Duncan. Cell phone sales, service, and repair. Get up to $1,000 off iPhone 14 with trade-in when you pre-order. And the Thunderbolts take the line here, trying to score for the first time today. The Bulldogs are playing for a reason here tonight, working on different things, giving different looks, getting comfortable in different things. And a nice play, nice pass, nice play defensively. Got 5 quick yards on it. Williams with the tackle on the outside, maybe 6. And they're going to continue to throughout this game. There's no, they're going to have different players doing it. You're going to see lesson talk like we have, but you're not going to see a grand shift between like first shift to second shift like a hockey game. There's no time for that. And if you're a defender and you're in the second half and they have a goose egg, you're playing for pride there. You want to shut out any chance you have. And he rolls out, there's nothing there, rolls to the near side, being chased out of bounds, and finally taken down, number 6 for the Bulldogs. With the tackle, Caleb Williams comes up and makes the stop. Different faces here on defense. Number 46 for the Bulldogs, Jacob Nieves, he's in the area too. He's having a great game, he's active here tonight. So there are some young faces out here now that I'm seeing. It is third down, about 8 to go, 7 maybe. Motion, handoff to the motion, and number 2 has it, and he is wrapped up by number 14, Griffin Aldrich, by the Bulldogs, and thrown back. He bellied his motion and kind of gave that away. It bowed way back into the backfield. I mean, you go back 6 yards to get the ball and make your turn. You're kind of making a 3rd and 3, a 3rd and 6 for no reason. That's what he did. So it's going to bring up a 4th down for Cranston East, and they are going to punt it. 1 minute left here in the third quarter. Live from Cranston Stadium, folks, here. Bulldogs doing what they are we knew they were capable of doing. They're doing it in ways I'm impressed because I knew they were capable of doing, but maybe they really haven't done. And they're doing it here tonight. Defense aggressive. We've seen fumble recoveries. We've seen interceptions. We saw a kick return for a touchdown. And nice job handling the punt snap. And he's going to get it down. Williams is going to handle it in the fair catch at around the 30. See where they mark it. And the Bulldogs will get started at about the 28-yard line. But they've scored twice in the air, once on the ground by Williams. So he has 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. They have a kick return for a touchdown, a pick, and a fumble recovery. So you want to see a little bit of everything. They've given it to you. That's all positive. They haven't lost. They don't have turnovers. They have a couple penalties. 1 personal foul on Jimmy Powers. There was a holding penalty. But I'll tell you what, if I could sit here, I didn't write those things down. So if I could sit here and remember your penalties precisely like that, then you're doing pretty good. You're playing a pretty clean game. And there's not too many. They got to continue. They got another quarter of play. They're taking their time, more time between plays. Half a minute to go here in the third. 2 in the backfield. 2 far side, out of the gun. Gorman on the near side. And right up the middle, right off Gorman. They're going to go on the inside anyway. And Gorman pushing them forward after a gain of about 5. And we're under 25 seconds to go. That might wrap it up here for the third quarter. Let's see what the Bulldogs do. If they try to hurry up and get another one in, or if they let this quarter come to rest. Bulldogs came out of the half with 21. They've tagged on 14 in the third quarter. 3 quarters in the books from Cranston, folks. Westerly Bulldogs 35, Cranston East Thunderbolts 0. 1 more quarter to play, folks. 4th quarter is vote yes on 4 in the 4th. From now on, every 4th quarter, 4th period, 4th, anything we do, folks, is vote yes on 4 in the 4th. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I am Timothy Killam. I'm running for Westerly School Committee, and I ask for your vote on November 8th. The arts program is very important to me. In my high school career, I was within the music department. I was president of the Music Honor Society in the high school I attended, and I found it was my outlet to get out whatever frustrations, but also my talents. Many students have sports, but that isn't for everybody, and we need to remember that it is important to continue to grow our music program where we can find ways to allow every student to have an instrument at no cost, where we can have our...
Welcome back, folks. It is the 4th quarter from Cranston, and the Bulldogs doing it, and they're doing it well. They're doing it in a lot of different ways, and that's exactly what this coaching staff had to be looking for. You're going to see a few new numbers out there. Like I said, not a grand switch. In the backfield right now, you got number 1, number 2, 24, and number 5. You got Tuck and Hill. So, like I said, the Bulldogs need to be full throttle the rest of the year. There's no more complacency. And, like, this coaching staff doesn't allow complacency ever. They haven't all season. It has just taken time to get to where they're at, and they just got to keep their foot on it and keep going. It'll be interesting to see how the game in Portsmouth between Portsmouth and Woonsocket goes tomorrow. Bulldogs will have an extra day of rest. Delby holds it and stays inside the tackle for a gain of about 4 yards on 2nd down. Going to bring up 3rd and about 3 for the Bulldogs. This game is brought to you in part by the Knickerbocker Music Center Live, folks. Watch local bands live from the Nick in downtown Westerly, RI. A premium streaming service brought to you by the Knickerbocker Music Center and Westerly Live. Bulldogs in a huddle. No more no huddle. There's no need for that. And when I say they got to go through full throttle, I'm not saying they got to drop back and throw a post here. I'm just saying they have to continue to play successfully pretty much the rest of the way. Alone in the backfield, Hill. And he gets it. With patience, cuts up. He doesn't need a lot of room. And he gets skinny, he spins, and he falls forward. The positive yards, gain of about 4 on the play. It's hard to hit him hard. First down yardage is a good way to put it. Hill, it's hard to hit him hard, and if you get the lane, he's going to run, and he can run fast. You don't want to give him that. Let him get in stride, and you're going to have a problem. In for the Bulldogs, number 14, Griffin Aldrich, also having a very active game for the Bulldogs. And when I say you're active, you're having a great game. You're having a good game. Sullivan, Aldrich, along with Gorman on the near side. In motion, Aldrich. Slides back. Going far side. Holds pitch to Hill. He can't handle it. He's going to have to fall on, and does. Reaches out for it and wrangles it back in at about the 36-yard line. Exactly what the Bulldogs wanted. The pitch had a little pepper on it, maybe. Maybe a little bit high. I don't know. Either way, you got to handle it. And those are the things that you can't have happen. Those are the things that you can't get sloppy here in the fourth. You want to end this game on a great note so you keep the momentum rolling into the next one, just like they did. They started this game on fire, and they didn't let up really at all in the first half. They ended with 21 points in the first half. Then they got 14 tacked on in the third quarter, which is exactly what you'd want to see coming out of the half. You expected this Bulldog team to come out and put up a score like this. In my head, I was thinking 42 area. And it looks like they're going to be right around that number. Rolling near side, Williams. Good protection, and he's going to turn the corner and duck, staying in bounds. And he's still in bounds, and he's finally out at the 35. They don't mark him anywhere before that. Tiptoes the sidelines all the way down the field. Great balance. He did it to me on the far side. I gave up on him about 15 yards early on the far side. I wasn't going to on this side. Just late. There wasn't much room to turn that corner, but man, with that balance and that elusiveness, he is able to. So many different weapons that young man possesses. And when you got a player like that at quarterback, boy, oh boy, you're a dangerous team, man. And that converts for the Bulldogs. First and 10 on the Thunderbolt side of the field from the 46-yard line. 8.5 to go in this contest. And handoff to Hill on the left side. Inside of Gorman, nice block, and he's still on his feet. Still to the outside. I told you don't want to let him in stride. Cuts back in, and Bulldozers to the right, and down to the 10-yard line. Inside the 10. So he's patient and reads his blocks, but if he gets in stride, he can even change direction. Nice move on the sidelines. Ended up gaining 7-8 more yards after that move. And like I said, he doesn't weigh a lot, but he falls forward. He's always squirming and twisting, and he doesn't get. It's hard to hit him hard. Is the only way I can put it. And that's a great run by Hill. And what another thing. You wanted to stretch the defense? Well, here's another thing you're doing. You've thrown deep. You scored twice on deep throws. Now you're showing what Hill, another running back, can do out of the backfield. What you're doing is you're giving Woonsocket a lot of things to think about. You're doing it against a lesser team, but hey, at least you're doing it. Hill, the handoff again this time is not going to happen. I do believe that's number 69, DeAndre Brown, and we've met him a few times here tonight. He's definitely the dominant force of this Cranston team. Unfortunately, they don't have enough of them. And from the 12-yard line, the Bulldogs will go home. Second down and goal. He is a big man, and he plays a nice position, let me tell you. Number 69 having a day. No, he is a sophomore. Holy cow, I did not see that little tidbit. That's a good nugget. He's a sophomore, number 69. He is going to be something to deal with, boy. Let me tell you. Bulldogs getting in, playing late here as the clock rolls, taking their time down here. It's under 7 minutes already in the fourth quarter of play. Take the line, Gorman to our right. Poole to the left, double tight. Hill in the backfield. Two wide receivers to the near side. And handoff to Hill off the edge, and a nice block by Gorman. Nice block by McLeod, and he works his way all the way back down inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. Third and goal from the 6. If you're the Bulldogs, what do? If you do come up with a fourth down, I don't know. I might even let Petroshka work on a field goal. Or they're towards the extra point distance, maybe not. Regardless, it is third down and goal, and let's see what happens here first. See if they can poke it in on third down, stretch it to where it needs to be. And the Bulldogs take the line. Let's see what they come out with here. 2 wide receivers near side. Gorman, far side. Pizarro out wide on the wide side of the field. Hill in the backfield. Motion. Turnaround counter hand off to Hill. He's got room, and he's going to slide his way into the end zone. Nice blocking by McLeod and Adams on the point of attack. And he is able to get his way into the end zone nearly untouched. Touchdown, Westerly, and that's going to make it Bulldogs 41 pending the extra point. And they are posting a shutout, folks. You couldn't ask for more, really, in any aspect of this ball game. You really couldn't. They've done it in all the different ways that that you would want them to do it. Ways that maybe they haven't done it all that consistently all year long. So it's a great thing to see, and it's a great attachment to what they did in Central to keep things rolling. You want to just finish this thing off in the next 5 minutes. You don't want to give anything up here to throw a little chink in it or any hiccup at all. At this point, it does mean something to post it shut out. If they do that, they came in, they did what they needed to do, and even a little bit more maybe because of how they did it, and then they move on. They move on to a big one next week. Folks, tune in on the road on Saturday at 1. And that's going to be a do-or-die match, as this was, and if they win that, as South Kingston will be. That being said, before that, on the 18th, we have some ladies soccer at Sallow Jerry Field at 6:30 p.m. And folks, stay tuned. The ladies soccer team's having a heck of a season. They really are. So tune in at 6:30 on the 18th, followed by the 19th. We're going to be in Federico Gymnasium, 6:30 p.m. Varsity volleyball, and they're going to be making the playoffs, folks. Ladies volleyball. Tune in at 6:30 on the 19th, and the 22nd, Saturday at 1 p.m. football at Woonsocket. That's next week's schedule, folks. 18, 19, 22. So Bulldogs set the kick. Petroska counted out. 4:10 to 4:08 to go here in the fourth quarter of action. And the kick low and on the ground, a long ground ball. Really, they're letting it go to the back line. Scoop it up by number 2. Not much room. Makes a little move. And down the sidelines for a nice little gain to about the 35, 36-yard line. So the Bulldogs defense still with something to prove here. When you're on defense and you have a chance for a shutout at any point late in the game, you have purpose still on the field. You don't get lazy. You take pride in shutouts no matter who they're against. Because they're a tough thing. A lot of things have to come together. You can't have anything occur like an offensive touchdown, special teams touchdown, nothing like that to post a true shutout. And they have this opportunity here. So it'd be a nice thing to add on, to tack on, heading into next week. And number 24 with a nice sweep around the edge here to the near side, first down yardage. That's going to be number 24, Emmanuel Moreau for the Thunderbolts. Jake Karen forced them out of bounds. Bulldogs do have some new names on the field. Definitely not their entire starting defense, which is wise. First and 10 from the 48-yard line. Handoff near side on a jet sweep. Not much room, brought out of bounds and torn out by Jimmy Powers, number 31. Had a nice day on the inside, and there's a late flag. I think, was that a flag? Flags are pink. Yep, yellow comes up. It is a flag. And that's going to be late, and I think that was somehow on Williams, but I sure didn't see Jimmy Powers do anything wrong. We'll wait and see what the officials have in store. I was about to say, really, maybe it's a... But wait, he's about to signal. He's just personal foul, face mask against the Bulldogs. So I'm about to say not too many flags, looking clean. You got to do that for the full 48 minutes. So they got to tighten up here. and finish this one up. This one's not done, and now they're marching. They're at the 35, and they're hurrying up. Play action, fake handoff up the middle. They go, and they gain another 9 yards. So now Cranston East on the move in what would really, momentum, everything's going in the Bulldogs' favor here. This is the second week in a row. Third week if you count back to Shea. And you really want to kind of preserve this. Thunderbolts to the line. Remember, considering there are new faces, definitely in coverage as well. Handoff, far side, they have the edge, and there's some room. And that is down, a nice gain on the play. And they're marching, folks, all the way down to the 15. But the Bulldogs do have 42, so have no fear. Under a minute to go in this one. They're in a hurry. They want to see if they can sneak their way in. Fun way to end this one. Do the Bulldogs preserve the shutout? Have a shutout victory, or does this Cranston team who wants nothing more than to just score, get in the end zone, and break this bubble? Out of the gun, 4 wide receivers. One man in the backfield is going to get a jet sweep again. This time he cuts it to the inside, nowhere to go, and there is under a half a minute. Do they call a timeout to try to get in the end zone? I do believe they do. The clock has stopped with 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. So we have a little action to finish this with, folks. A little duel. Bulldogs defense, Thunderbolts offense. Bulldogs got the game in the books. Did it all sorts of different ways. They go to the sidelines to get a little water and a little instruction from the coaches here. But now the question is, they got 15 yards, mano. Do you preserve the shutout? 20 seconds to go. I think they got at least another timeout in their pocket, maybe 2. I don't think they've really used any in the second half. Bulldogs defense takes the field. 13-yard line. Thunderbolts to the line from the timeout. The whistle, motion, and they give it to him again. And he gets around the edge. They even get him that way, and out of bounds he goes. So a nice gain all the way into the 7-yard line and out of bounds. The clock's running, and they're waving it down to stop it. 9 seconds left. Timeout, Thunderbolts. Now, I don't know if there's any more or not, but there's 9 seconds in the fourth. You're at the 7-yard line. And remember, folks, there are some younger personnel in, so you got to give them a little bit here of leniency. And Coach Pizzato takes his troops. One final assignment. You can get 2 plays in a 9-second span. They say the average play when you're in midfield, mid-area of the field is about 7 seconds. You're squished into the 7-yard line, it could be less. So if they have a timeout in their pocket, I'm assuming they sure could get 2 plays. If they do not, this will wrap her up. An incomplete pass does stop the clock. Playing for a shutout and playing just to get on the board. Motion. Is it on the counter up to shoot? He's got space and they're going to get in. So Cranston gets on the board. And a nice job by the Thunderbolts. No quit. That's why we love high school football, folks. Positives on the Bulldogs side. They did it, and they did it in all the ways that we were hoping that they could do it in. That is going to do it for the game. I do believe the official just told them to wind it down, and that does it. Final score, folks. Westerly Bulldogs 42, Cranston East Thunderbolts 6. On to Woonsocket. Again, 2 more chapters left. Must wins for the Bulldogs, folks. Folks, I must take a moment to say while the players are slapping hands, Westerly lost a huge member of its community today. Just such a kind and generous human being. Really touched the hearts of all of Westerly. This game is brought to you in memory of the true voice of Westerly, Chris DiPaolo.